Hey, it's Tim Miller with the Bulwark, and when a story as crazy as this drops, I feel like I got to get on here and talk to y'all about it. Roger Stone, Donald Trump's rat f***er extraordinaire, was caught on tape by Mediaite. He was discussing with a ex-cop friend of his an assassination plot against Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell and Jerry Nadler. This was not just some, locker room talk, some tough talk. This is part of Roger Stone's extended recent history, dealing with far-right groups, dealing with domestic terror groups. He was very mobbed up in the plotting and planning before January 6th. And here he is discussing with Sal Greco, an NYPD cop that was working security for Stone on the side. They're discussing in Fort Lauderdale. Here's Stone. It's time to do it. Let's go find Swalwell. It's time to do it. Then we'll see how brave the rest of them are. It's time to do it. It's either Nadler or Swalwell has to die before the election. They need to get the message. Let's go find Swalwell and get this over with. I'm not putting up with this anymore. A source that was familiar with the discussion told Mediaite that Stone's remarks were serious. It was definitely concerning that he was constantly planning violence with an NYPD officer and other militia groups. There are other examples of this. Stone was also targeting Aaron Zelinsky, a Justice Department official that was prosecuting him. He needs to be punished. Stone told Greco in the audio, you have to abduct him and punish him. That has to be done. Some chilling echoes of the plot against Gretchen Whitmer there. The broader context here, I think, is also important. I mean, this on its own as a standalone is a bombshell report from Mediaite. But, it has some reverberations into the politics here. Donald Trump pardoned his strategist, whatever you want to call him, his consigliere, Roger Stone, in 2020 before leaving the White House. You might remember that Stone was convicted for lying to investigators who were probing his contacts with WikiLeaks during the 2016 election. You always hear Donald Trump and the people on the MAGA right talking about the collusion hoax. Well, there was no collusion hoax when it came to Roger Stone. Roger Stone was directly communicating with WikiLeaks, gaining information about the hacked emails, the emails that were hacked by the Russian government and were being released through WikiLeaks. In the kind of avalanche of Trump nonsense, a lot of times his pardons, I think, get overshadowed by his other craziness. I mean, the types of pardons that Trump engaged in are like basically unprecedented in presidential history. There's a lot of scandal around the Mark Rich pardon that Bill Clinton issued, which for good reason. Rich was a big Clinton donor, but there's not really an example of a case like this where we have convicted felons that worked for Trump, Stone and Manafort, who get these blanket pardons, don't have to serve time. Well, I guess Manafort did serve time and then was released, but Stone was sentenced to 40 months in prison, but had his sentence commuted. I got to tell you, it's not great when you pardon an advisor who's threatening assassination. That's not something that's so popular in the Atlanta suburbs. I promise you that. So it's bad on the merits. It's bad politics. It's a shocking story. I think that there'll be a lot more to be said. No comments from Eric Swalwell or Jerry Nadler yet. So I think that the story is going to continue to develop. But, I think that it has very significant implications, both in echoes of all of the domestic terrorist attacks we've seen from the right and from the MAGA crowd and the threats there. It has some political ramifications for Donald Trump. And I think just the news on its own is absolutely shocking, at a time where it's hard to feel like you're being shocked. Talking to a police officer about an assassination plot, a former advisor to Donald Trump. This is very serious business. We'll continue to monitor this story. We'll be back on Wednesday for the next level with Sarah and JVL. Make sure if you haven't yet, catch our bonus next level video. George Conway explains it all. Sarah talking to him about the Trump trials, taped before this news. But next time we get George Conway on here, I guess we might have to ask for his legal expertise about assassination threats. Doesn't seem great to me. Subscribe to the feed. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, if you like this video and our content, I'd love for you to become a Bulwark Plus member. You get bonus podcasts, you get bonus newsletters, you get bonus takes from me that maybe don't come up on the YouTube feed. You can try it out for free at thebulwark.com/free trial. The link is below in the description. We'd love to have you as a member of our community. We have great commenters and great opportunities for people who want to protect democracy.